Welcome to History Love. In the windswept waters of the North Atlantic lies an island whose history echoes with tales of ambition, resilience, and revolution. This is the story of Britain, a realm of kings and queens, of invaders and visionaries, of battles fought and empires forged. The United Kingdom, an island nation carved by the relentless march of time, holds within its shores the collective soul of England, Scotland, Wales, and the northern reaches of Ireland. From the jagged cliffs of Dover to the rolling highlands of Scotland, Britain is more than just a place. It's a crucible of civilization. Its name, whispered by the ancients and revered by explorers, conjures images of a kingdom that has shaped the destiny of the world. At its heart stands London, a city as timeless as the River Thames that weaves through its core. London, a beacon of commerce, finance, and culture, has stood as a witness to the rise and fall of dynasties, the birth of revolutions, and the emergence of modern democracy. But London is only the beginning. Venture north to Birmingham, where the Industrial Revolution ignited the engines of progress. West to Liverpool, a city of maritime might and musical genius. Or to Manchester, whose mills once spun the fabric of an empire. Cross the Irish Sea to Belfast and Londonderry, cities that pulse with history and pride. Head further north to Scotland, where the castles of Edinburgh and the grit of Glasgow tell tales of resistance and reinvention. In Wales, where the melodies of Swansea and Cardiff rise like the chorus of ancient bards, the story of a proud people unfolds. This is Britain, a land forged by the trials of history and the dreams of its people. A land where every stone, every river, and every whispering breeze carries the weight of centuries past. Join History Love as we unravel the drama, the glory, and the untold stories of this island nation. This is the tale of Britain, and it's a story worth telling. Ancient Britain, a land on the edge of time. Long before the rise of empires and the march of legions, Britain was a land veiled in mystery, a realm carved by glaciers and shaped by the restless tides of history. In the early 21st century, archaeologists in Norfolk unearthed stone tools that whispered of a startling revelation. Humans roamed these lands as far back as 800,000 to 1 million years ago. These fragments of the distant past unveiled a truth. Britain's ancient history is a mosaic of shadows, where details remain elusive and stories lie buried beneath layers of time. Before the Romans arrived in 43 CE to etch Britain into the annals of the civilized world, this island was a periphery, a frontier on the edge of what the Mediterranean civilizations deemed knowable. Yet the earth beneath Britain's green fields holds secrets. It speaks of cultures rising and falling, of hunters chasing red deer across the forests of the Mesolithic period, and of the land itself evolving under the weight of millennia. At the dawn of the Mesolithic period, Britain was part of the continental landmass, a place where migrating hunters roamed freely. But around 6000–5000 BCE, the seas rose and severed the island from the mainland, creating an insular world. This transformation shaped the destiny of Britain, isolating its people and forcing them to adapt and evolve in their unique way. As continental cultures surged and waned, Britain absorbed their influences but remained distinct, its fertile southeast more open to these waves of change than the rugged hills of the north and west. As the Ice Age came to an end, a new world emerged. The tundra melted away, replaced by forests alive with red deer and elk. In the 8th millennium BCE, hunting communities settled near the waters of Starcar in North Yorkshire. For 20 winters, they returned to this lakeside refuge, crafting a story of survival that still echoes today. This was Britain's ancient world, a time when the island was both a sanctuary and a crucible. It was a place where nature and humanity danced in a delicate balance, setting the stage for the saga of a land destined to shape history. Pre-Roman Britain, the dawn of civilization. In the mists of ancient Britain, before the tread of Roman sandals echoed across its shores, the land bore witness to profound transformation. From the rolling hills of Wessex to the windswept plains of East Anglia, a new chapter began with the arrival of Neolithic immigrants around 4000 BCE. These settlers, pastoralists and farmers, brought with them a revolution: the art of agriculture. The tools of this age tell a story of innovation and survival. Flint, mined from the earth, was honed into sharp implements, while axes of volcanic rock journeyed across the land, traded by daring prospectors. The dead, too, left their mark, buried with care and reverence. In the rugged West, stone tombs concealed under rubble mounds served as eternal resting places. In the stoneless East, timber-framed barrows rose under the sky, each a testament to the mysteries of life and death. But the Neolithic period was more than a time of survival, it was an age of ritual. Across the land, tribal gatherings and seasonal feasts centered on sacred enclosures like Windmill Hill in Wiltshire. As centuries passed, these ritual sites evolved into the monumental hinges that dot the landscape today. The massive Durrington Walls, with its timber circles, stands as a silent witness to a people who sought meaning in the stars and the seasons. The Bronze Age, a land transformed. By 2300 BCE, a new wave of change swept across Britain, carried by the enigmatic Beaker folk. Named for the distinctive drinking vessels buried alongside their dead, these migrants brought with them not only their traditions but also the secrets of metallurgy. With their arrival, gold and copper became prized treasures, extracted from Britain and Ireland's rich deposits. Wessex emerged as a center of power and prosperity during this era. Chieftains adorned with riches controlled trade routes that stretched from the amber shores of the Baltic to the sunlit palaces of Mycenae in Greece. Their wealth and influence found its ultimate expression in one of Britain's most iconic monuments, Stonehenge 3. Here, the labor of countless hands erected a ring of mighty bluestones, hauled from the distant mountains of southwest Wales, a feat of engineering and devotion unmatched in its time. As the Bronze Age advanced, the land bore witness to growing complexity. By 1200 BCE, agriculture flourished in the south, with farms of circular huts clustered together amid small fields and stock enclosures. In the centuries that followed, the communities of Britain forged strong connections with their continental neighbors, exchanging goods, ideas, and culture. It was during this period, around the 8th century BCE, that the first hill forts rose against the skyline. From Beacon Hill in Buckinghamshire to Finnevin in Angus, these fortifications symbolized a people ready to defend their land, their lives, and their legacy. A legacy written in stone and soil. Pre-Roman Britain was a land of transformation and resilience. Its people, shaped by the challenges of an isolated existence, forged a culture that was both distinct and dynamic. They built monuments that defied time, cultivated the land with ingenuity, and looked beyond their shores to connect with a wider world. Iron Age, the forge of ancient Britain. As the 7th century BCE dawned, Britain entered the Iron Age, a period of transformation not driven by a change in people, but by the embrace of a new and powerful material, iron. This discovery, while seemingly incidental, would shape the destiny of the island. Iron tools and weapons became the backbone of a society that flourished with innovation, resilience, and a growing connection to the wider world. Iron unlocked the land itself. With stronger tools, forests fell, fields expanded, and the population grew. Settlements retained their unique British identity, marked by traditional roundhouses, small Celtic fields, and underground storage pits for grain. In these villages, the rhythm of life continued, deeply rooted in the soil and the seasons. But the Iron Age was not without its shadows. From 600 BCE, the land began to bristle with fortifications, great hill forts rising atop strategic vantage points. These structures, symbols of power and defense, reflected the tensions of a growing population and a struggle for resources. Inside these forts, powerful chieftains ruled, their authority etched in stone and steel. By 300 BCE, the dagger gave way to the sword, and the tools of war became canvases for art. A distinctively British form of La Tène's Celtic design emerged, adorning scabbards, shields, and helmets with swirling patterns that echoed the spirit of the island. Even domestic items, like pottery and bronze mirrors, bore the mark of this artistry, blending utility with beauty. The Iron Age was also a time of trade and connection. Cornwall's tin, prized for its role in making bronze, was shipped across seas to far-off lands. Greek explorer Pytheas of Massalia, writing before 300 BCE, spoke of this trade, and a hoard of North Italian silver coins found in Cornwall bears testament to its reach. However, this golden age of commerce dimmed when Julius Caesar destroyed the fleet of the Veneti in 56 BCE, severing Britain's links to the trade routes of Brittany. By 200 BCE, Britain had come into its own. Its insular, Celtic character had fully developed, defined by the traditions and innovations of its people. Yet it was not entirely isolated. Limited settlement from tribes of Belgic Gaul brought new influences, especially to southeast Britain. This region, particularly Kent and the lands north of the Thames, became a hub of cultural exchange. Coins, potter's wheels, and cremation practices, all hallmarks of continental Celtic culture, took root here. The people, armed with better tools and techniques, began to farm heavier soils, further advancing agriculture. The Iron Age was a time of growth and strife, of art and war, of isolation and connection. It was a period that laid the foundations for the Britain that would confront the might of Rome and beyond.